Yeah, they get his potatoes on top of a load of shit.
Oh.
They've covered that shit pile with potatoes. I'm not eating any fresh potatoes here.
We're going this way today.
Yeah.
Now tomorrow is leaving day, so today is going to get some fuel and some food from the local supermarket. First, this.
Was it shit? Is that shit?
Yeah.
God, it stink.
Hot shit.
Yeah, there's a ton of it.
Now also, you've seen the roads around here are interesting. They are used by surprisingly large amounts of people just walking. Must be miles, but anyway, we turn into a normal high street. There's the supermarket, and then we'll stop here and get some food. Now the food we're getting is actually for the train for the way back, because I did notice they do some. And also, as this is a major supermarket chain, we'll be using this one as the price per litre of fuel is not too bad. If you get them on the motorway, they could be 25% more expensive, so beware of that.
Is that another load?
Or as they covered the shit with whatever that is.
They harvesting, is that what it is? Is that potatoes?
Yeah, they get his potatoes on top of a load of shit.
Oh.
They've covered that shit pile with potatoes. I'm not eating any fresh potatoes here.
Anyway, we get back and it's time to start prepping where we're going to put the awning, which is going in the boot in that big hole. So off we go. As you can see, the weather is really warm, and I have to say, after taking the pegs and things out, one does get a little bit hot. And so to the next stage, we'd remove all the sides because it makes it easier to carry, and then get the floor up, and then up come the tiles, then the frame, and out she comes. And because the pitch is so long, we can attach the car to the front of the caravan, leaving exactly where it is, and just hook it up. And last but no means least, pop the front cover on, and then we're ready for the morning. Now I have given myself enough room to be able to swing out round that corner and miss that tree. Well, that worked swimmingly well, so the time now is early, 6:13 look, but actual fact 7:13, which is enough time for us to get to the train terminal. And because it's early, we just retrace our steps, obviously across this little train crossing here, but in actual fact, it's because it's early as well, we shouldn't meet too much in the way of traffic to get out onto this busy road, he says. And I've also noticed how inclement the weather is. Quite a bit different to that of yesterday, isn't it? You join us a long way up. We're not that far to go now, so it's a fuel stop for us. But I just thought I'd mention this one because the guy that I get behind here is at a machine. Now, we tried for ages to get our card in that machine. Didn't work. Ended up having to go indoors. Turns out that this was one of these fleet card machines and wouldn't accept any other type of card. Oh well, live and learn. And so to a longer top up than was expected, but this one was fairly straightforward. Well, that's what I thought.
Why have they got this?
Yeah, I don't know. It'll come out orange.
Just no reason for it. Is there?
Why do the French put chicanes in? Enough moaning, Steve. Anyhow, we are nearly there now, and this initial bit takes a little bit of concentration because on the road we'll say the words car ferry. Now, luckily we're trained, so we're going on the two on the left hand side, but you can see car ferry has got, is that slip road? But there's a slip road that comes off of that as well. So if we go on a little bit further, you can see the slip road goes off to the right, but car ferry goes straight on to where it has its own junction, so be careful, they're quite quick, these signs. And then talking of signs, whilst we're at it, As a driver and quickly scanning, I can see that the word tunnel covers the 3 lanes on the left, and so I need to move over. This is not the end of the lane swapping, oh no. Ahead is my actual junction.
Take exit 42 on the right, toward Tunnel-sur-la-Manche, then keep right.
But when I get there, it turns out that I'm actually in the transport lane, so I need to move over yet again. However, the signs are that quick, not that I'm going that fast, but when I get round the corner, the truck lane has got its own dedicated lane, so I can stay where I am. And so to the next confusing bit. On the right hand side, there's a pet reception. We haven't got any pets, so we're okay there. On the left hand side, we're not Flexi Plus, so we're not doing that. So we're one of the white ones in the middle. We quickly move over to the right in order to check in at the booths ahead after negotiating this odd roundabout. As you can see here, it took just under 4 hours to get to here. And so to check in, now obviously most of these are machine based, APNR based, and there's a couple of booths on the right with people in, but most of the time they're not. So it's straight to the machine, hopefully the APNR will see you, and away you go.
Press the button. Well, you might not have to, it should register my number plate.
Okay. Welcome, Mr. Scott.
Yeah.
And just as in the UK, we get given a hanger, but just before that, and as it's not busy, the machine even offered us the option of going on the earlier train. So, with the barrier up, we're off.
No, he's in a race.
And so, you need to keep your eye out for the signs again. On this one, we need to hang to the right, look.
Then we went...
Down the end. But park by that guy with the boat.
Yeah, okay.
And you better go and do the Pablo machine. I'll wait there. Because we are N3, which means we're boarding in 20 minutes.
Oh, and by the way, a Pablo machine is where you go to scan your Skiptax out.
There's not been an awful lot to report on the drive up, because it's been okay. Been fairly empty, isn't it? Apart from the fact, the weather.
Yeah, foggy the whole time.
What was it, 200 and how many miles?
239 miles.
In the fog, all of it. And
Yeah.
just for your information, the Skiptax terminals that you're supposed to fill in here, once you've done your barcode, to go to a terminal, get it done. And all the machines were out of order, so you couldn't use them. So you're supposed to use the customs next to it, and they fill in a form, but that was closed as well, so can't use it. Just a waste of time.
Really annoying. I'm going to ask about it then.
Now I will rant. There are 4 machines when you get inside. Why are they all not working? Tax refund here in English on the floor, look. Yeah, right, not a chance in hell. But all 4 machines not working at all. Nah. They're internet based. They don't need any staff. And then, what are the chances of the customs office, which has got 3 windows, that suggests 3 members of staff, and we're within the operating hours as well? So I remembered the Skiptax app. There's a help section. And after typing in my message, I get that bit at the bottom. Well, that's helpful considering it's weekend. But somebody did respond with not a lot of help anyway, and not a lot they can do. And so after that minor irritation, bloody fuming actually, we get on the way. Now, what would life be like if it wasn't for small thin lanes and chicanes? Because the French love to do that. Well, they don't disappoint. Now, the first thing we come to is on the other side of the building. The car park on the left hand side here is for normal traffic. So normal traffic is in that left lane, where large traffic and therefore take up the right. But that doesn't last very long at all, because we end up having to merge together anyway at the end of this road, look. And now, after another sharp bend, and we're all now joined together again, we head for the French customs. Quite a big queue. Now, to be fair, as queues goes, this is not a bad one actually. So now we're on the way to join yet another queue after being directed to the very right hand side, as it seems that's where larger vehicles have to head. And so after another easy manoeuvre, we head for the British Customs queue. And once again, that's not too bad. It looks like they got enough staff on here. So we make a move to the next bit, and guess what? Just what I need, more chicanes. But in the distance there, I can see a caravan sign to the right, so we get in that lane. Now I know what you're thinking here, hang on a minute, on the way out, wasn't there a gas check that had to be done? Well, the French do that at the same time as telling you what lane you have to be in. So after she's done her gas check, and I have to say, she was very nice. We get given a lane number and off we go. Now, we were only there a matter of minutes, long enough for me to change the GoPro battery. But before you know it, we were off yet again to board the train. Now, if you recall, on the way out, as we went down the ramp, we spotted a fence in between the left and the right platforms, and we had to be careful of the swing from the back of the caravan with regard that fence. Now luckily on this one, when I get down here, I can see that there is no fence, so we don't have to worry so much about any swing that's going on there. And so all I need to do is make sure that I leave enough gap to get on the platform in the first place, and then get over far enough in order that when I go back and pull it dead straight, that I can go down the middle of the actual train without any issues whatsoever.
I think we're having fun boarding, people. And the game is to give yourself enough room when you get over for the swing, so that when you straighten back up, it goes straight down the middle. Should be okay. The thing with this is also to go far enough over so we take up a little bit of the other side before we come back in.
I think we are lucky because, as it turns out, this is the last carriage, and we're in that, unless they have another entry point further up, of course. And so there we have it, we're in. Well, so I thought. We need to go forward just a little bit more. Look, it's going to move us both forward just to create a bit more space. Coming up at the end of this section will be the bit on tolls. Remember the tolls we had? There was one on the way down, one on the way back. I do have the actual bill for those now, so I'll go through those later with you. And now we're in. I'll remember to take the umbilical cord off and put the handbrake on, and then take the GoPro camera down. And believe me, I do smile in the end. Okay, the toll tag. Now, we use ATMB, and apart from looking after the tolls throughout France, they also look after the Mont Blanc tunnel, hence the logo. Now, what you're looking at there is the tag that you affix to the inside of your windscreen. Think about the size of a box of matches, that's how big it is. And then what we do is we fix a bit of Velcro to that little tab that you can see there, which is also removable, by the way. And so once you've registered, you put in your email address and then you get sent this. Now it's only 2 pages, but the first screen looks a bit confusing. There are lots of numbers on there. And then on the second page, there's different numbers again. So I thought I'd better explain these. And so let's go back to page number 1. The total you're going to pay is at €76.90, which is at the bottom. Page 2, however, is slightly more interesting. So if you can see, Calais to Roissy was one trip, and then back again was the other one, hence why there's two. Then there's 257.8 kilometres travelled times 2, and the class of vehicle that you were charged at, or the charging rate, so we were class 2, which is fine for caravans. And then when you go back to page 1, you can see €1.58, which is how much ATMB charge you for the use of that toll tag in the month of October. Now, if you went over 2 months, you would see 2 of them. And then finally, you pay tax and all that. So I hope that was slightly clearer for you. And that's it. Just time to eat that lunch that we bought yesterday at the supermarket. And of course, visit the little boy's room. And all this leaves me to say, well, both of us to say, is thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit that little bell.